Hi guys, my name is Ari. I'm the Bookish Freaking MB, and welcome to Woody Worries. This is going to be my Blackathon check-in. I'm doing check-ins for every week of Blackathon. I've decided to do this because I know that I kind of dropped the ball in January and December. So I am trying to make up for lost time and do a few videos this month, possibly some other things like reviews of the books that I've read for Blackathon, like in between the check-in videos. But I do want to do check-in videos for Blackathon because honestly I'm trying to keep myself accountable at this point, and I'm trying to stick to my TBR, which I have been doing, but it's only been 1 week, and I'm trying to stick with it for the long haul. So here we go. I'm going to talk about the 2 books that I'm reading this week, and hopefully I will be done with them possibly by Wednesday or Thursday. So I'm trying to read through these books as fast as I can. I'm not a fast reader. I've said this time and time again, and I am trying to just read at my pace so that I can actually give you a review that is honest and kind of detailed and not feel like I skipped or skimmed over something. So I am trying to read as fast as possible. So I am reading 2 books that are on my TBR, and these are the 2 books. So the 2 books that I'm reading on my TBR are The Secret Lives of Baba Seji's Wives and The Weight of the Stars. So as you can see, I am reading The Secret Lives of Baba Seji's Wives on my iPad here. It is my tried and true when it comes to reading anything that is digital. I am not the biggest on reading like ebooks, so I am trying to wade through and also be able to take notes as I go. So what I have to say about this book, alright. For The Secret Lives of Baba Seji's Wives, I have to say this book is kind of rough. It is filled with toxic masculinity, very fragile male egos. I mean, there's even a part where Baba Seji finds out some unsettling news about his 4th wife, Molanle, and he literally runs to the bathroom to go and relieve himself. Basically, he has to empty his bowels every time something stressful comes up, which is kind of crazy because he strikes you at first as this guy who is just not afraid of anything, and it's just a testament to his fragile masculinity and his fragile ego when he can't take stress. He's literally having to go and empty his stomach every time there is a stressful situation, and that is quite unsettling. There are some instances in this book where I am literally in my head just devising a plethora of ways that misfortune can befall any one of the male characters in this book, just because these men literally, with all intention, to be good men sit here and talk about committing violence against their wives and things like that. So far through this book, I'm cringing, and I understand that there is a cultural disconnect here because I live in America and this book takes place in Nigeria. But with all of the cultural things aside, it's still pretty trash. Like, I don't really vibe with people talking about committing violence against women. It's just not a subject that I like to talk about or even read about. But hey, for the purpose of this book, we have to wade through it. I am going to finish this book because I am really interested in how Bolanle really does handle her situation. Honestly, the wives are horrid. They are jealous. They have come up with so many shenanigans and schemes to get rid of Bolanle. And the consensus at first was that she was fragile, she was sensitive, she was educated, so therefore she should be, docile and easy to basically pick on or run out of the house, which is not the case. She has shown that she has a lot tougher skin than they, give her credit for. And honestly, I kind of have to applaud Bolanle because there is literally a part in this book where Baba Segi literally has his hands around her neck and he's ready to snap her neck. And yeah, like I said, the whole wanting to commit violence against the body of a woman is just not something that I am willing to always read about, but it's something that we have to be faced with because it happens in certain cultures. Women are completely left up to the whims of their husbands, and it's a truth that sometimes we don't want to face, but in some places that is how it is. It is the culture, it's the tradition, and basically no one can really fault them with carrying on this tradition of just abuse. And of course, it's not at all healthy, but it is what it is. And this is where I am in the book right now. Right now, uh, we are hearing from the wives, the other wives, and you have these contrasting stories where you got Aya Femi trying to talk sense into Aya Sheji. You've got Aya Tupwe, who actually wants to be nice to Bolanle, but has been kind of coerced into the schemes of the other two. And yeah, it's quite crazy already. I haven't even made it through half of this book, and I'm sitting here like, why are you putting up with all of this to stay with this man who obviously does not have any respect for you in the first place? So it's just a lot that I'm dealing with. I'm having some emotional turmoil, some inner turmoil reading this book, and quite frankly, the men make me upset. I mean, honestly, the things that they say, the mannerisms that they have about them. There's one instance where Bolanle shows some genuine emotion toward a news broadcast where they are talking about this man who was walking around with fetuses in a plastic bag, and that it may have been a part of like some cult stuff that he was involved with, and she like literally weep. She literally wept for the women that have lost their lives and the fetuses that won't become, full term babies. And he literally comes to her and says, "Why were you crying? You can't have that emotion because you don't know what it's like to have a child." And like, yo, that that right there would have set me off. Honestly, I wouldn't have known how not to just fly off the hinges when he said that. Honestly, the book has me going back and forth. It's an interesting book, definitely an interesting take on polygamy, and I am interested to explore more. So I'm definitely going to complete this book and give full on just opinions about this book. But just know some of these guys in this book, I just be in my head thinking, like, yo, I hope something bad happens to some of these male characters because they just be talking out the side of their neck, and I can't abide by that. that that is just totally not where my head is at, and it's just you see it and you're like, really? You're just gonna out in the open talk about dragging someone's wife to the medicine man? That's that's a no no. We don't do that. But all in all, it's a good book, and I am enjoying Bolanle's story. It's like a back and forth, and you're seeing this story being told from different perspectives. You've got Aya Tupwe, you've got Aya Femi, and Aya Segi. They're telling their collective points of view, and Baba Sheji, he's telling his point of view, and Bolanle is telling hers, and it just makes for there's a problem of brewing, and you can see it. And when it comes to a head, it's not gonna be pretty at all. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. The book on my TBR that I'm reading is Way of the Stars. I am particularly very much enjoying this book because it is just a very back and forth type of story where Ryan is literally trying to get Alexandria to open up and make friends and just, begin to incorporate herself into the school population as just this new girl who came into town, and she has this very strange backstory, and she's just genuinely trying to get her to make friends and not be so rude and mean to people. She might have gone about it the wrong way at first. There is an incident where she startles Alexandria as she falls off her roof and ends up in the hospital with a broken skull and broken arm. Her crew kind of did jump down the rabbit hole and began full on bullying her. And of course, all of this on top of the fact that they never had a positive encounter with each other, it brews resentment. And of course, Alexandria resents her. And as much as Ryan wants to be her friend, Alexandria is skeptical. She doesn't want to believe that this person wants to be her friend. She wants to actually careful. She's treading lightly. I mean, the fact that she bullied her quite often since she's gotten there kind of makes her not want to be friends with that element of people. So, of course, that brews resentment. And, you know, Ryan also becomes kind of embedded in the family, kind of, just a little bit. Mr. McCullough, he at first is very paranoid, very suspicious. He believes that she is working for Scout, which is the company that Alexandria's mom works for, the company that sent her into space for 50 years. And um, quite frankly, Alexandria is not very fond of her, but Mr. McCullough thinks she's like a spy, and she has to go to great lengths to convince him, like, no, that's not even me. I want to go into space myself. My mom used to work for NASA, but that's about it. We're not spies or anything. I was just asked by a teacher to help her open up and make friends. So, essentially, of course, her and Ryan kind of need each other. Ryan needs her to open up, and Alexandria ends up needing her help getting up on her roof to receive transmissions from her mom that she thinks are coming from her spaceship. And of course, at first, the tension is bad. It's not friendly at all. Alexandria is very rude still, very mean, calls her sticky fingers, calls her all types of names. But the tension starts to ease a little bit. They begin talking to each other, trying to get to know each other, and opening up more about Alexandria's mom and also about Ryan's mom. So it becomes this back and forth. They end up starting to talk to each other. They finally do get Alexandria to come out and sit with the group and eat lunch or whatever. She's still a little bit skeptical, but of course, there's still a little bit of, you know, resentment for everything. Ryan apologized, of course, but you know, apologies only go but so far, especially when there's this person you don't even really know harassing you. And that's kind of something that you just don't want to have to deal with. So, yep, I'm ready to just like speed through this book for real, for real. It's quite long, but the chapters are short, and I think the fact that the chapters are short motivates me to go ahead and read through. So I hope this will be done in the next few days. I have birthday festivities, of course, that are coming up. Check out that new video, and I hope everyone actually likes that video. It's coming out on the 9th at midnight. So y'all go ahead and check that out. So without further ado, that is my check-in. I am just so excited to just stick to a TBR for once. And I hope that I can do that. Especially since I got new books. Honestly, I'm just looking forward to actually participating in Blackathon. So hopefully I don't turn to these books and start reading and stuff like that. I've got quite a few new books and I kind of want to get started, but I know that I committed myself to doing this TBR and I'm gonna finish it. So without further ado, I'm to sign off. All right, to everybody in every state, every country, every time zone. Y'all have a good one.